Hey, Dr. Clark here with another financial mathematics video. This time we're looking at buying and selling bonds from section 4.2. Let's get started. So the two main ideas, yield rate and coupon rate for bonds. Let's take a look. First, the yield rate. So the yield rate for a coupon bond is typically given as a nominal rate with a conversion period equal to the coupon frequency. It's essentially the interest rate on the bond. Now, the thing about this is the interest rate is sort of determined by the market in a sense. So if the bond issuer is selling a $10,000 bond, there's a question of what would the market pay for that $10,000 bond, right? Okay. And the yield rate is sort of determined by if the market views that company as very risky, the yield rate will have to be higher, which would mean that the bond price would be lower. So you could pay a $700 or $7,000 for a $10,000 bond because you're assuming a very high interest rate. Or maybe the company's relatively stable, you expect that payment to come out, and maybe the yield rate's very low, so maybe you only have to pay $9,000 for a $10,000 bond, right? So in some sense, the yield rate is how much interest you're earning. Well, the more risky that bond is viewed, the higher that yield rate is going to be, okay? And so again, we've seen this formula before, but the bond pricing, once that rate is set essentially by the market, you take the face value of the bond and you divide by 1 plus j to the n. That's that discount factor. So that's taking the face value and saying, well, back it up. We'll pay this much for it now because you're going to deliver the full bond face value at the end. And then you've got the second part, the face value times the coupon rate. That's R is the coupon rate. And that gives you the coupon amount times the annuity formula, A angle N, to pay for the coupons. Now, the second thing I want to talk about here is that coupon rate. So that's that little letter R there. How much are the coupons going to be? And remember, the coupon size is the coupon rate times the face value of the bond. Okay, and there's a little idea here to pay attention to with coupon rate. So if a bond selling price is more than the face value of the bond, then the bond is said to be selling at a premium. Okay, so let's say you're going to be, let's say it's a $10,000 bond, and what you have to pay for the bond is more than $10,000. Well, the thing is, if you paid more than $10,000 now, you're going to get that $10,000 face value again at the end, but you're also going to get coupons along the way. And selling at a premium means you're going to get a lot of coupons along the way, okay? And so that means that selling price is higher than the face value of the bond. So that's selling at a premium. If the bond is selling at a discount, that would mean that the selling price is lower than the face value, which means you're probably not getting very many coupons. Okay, you're paying a little bit now, and then at the end you get the full face value. Okay, and the last thing is a bond is selling at par if the selling price equals its face value. Okay, so what does that mean? That would mean it's a $10,000 bond. You pay $10,000 now. You get coupons along the way, and then the $10,000 at the redemption time. And so it turns out that a $10,000 bond costs $10,000. You get the $10,000 back plus the coupons along the way. That's selling at par, okay? And the way for that to occur is for the yield rate to equal the coupon rate, okay? So the mathematics just happens to work out perfectly. If you set, now the yield rate is set by the market, right? So if you say I've got a $10,000 bond, and the market's going to figure out, what kind of risk you are, what the interest rate would be. Well, then if you set the coupon rate to equal that yield rate, then the face value will equal the selling price of the bond, okay? And so then you can think of it as an interest-only loan with a lump sum principal payment at the end of the term and interest payments along the way. So when you sell it at par, it's sort of basically an interest-only loan. You pay the interest along the way, and then a lump sum at the end, which is kind of nice. If the bond is selling at premium, then the yield rate is less than the coupon rate, right? So premium, there's lots of coupons, so your coupon rate must be higher than the yield rate. And if a bond is selling at discount, then the yield rate will be more than the coupon rate. So you've got a small coupon rate, which is why there's not very, the coupons are smaller, so it's selling at a discount because the selling price is lower than the face value of the bond. Okay, and the key idea is as the yield rate increases for a payment in the future, the present value decreases. That's an important thing to keep in mind, right? So the higher the interest rate, the lower you would pay now to get that lump sum at the end because you're accumulating more interest over time. So the present value decreases when the interest rate is assumed to be higher. All right, so some final thoughts. These are some sort of counterintuitive ideas, and there's a lot of jargon with yield rate and coupon rate. So just take some time to sit down and, okay, what do these words mean? Does it actually make sense, the ideas that we're talking about here? And of course, when we do the exploration in class, you'll see this in a lot more detail. So I'm looking forward to seeing you then, and we'll tackle the exploration, and I think you'll understand it all pretty well then.